humane, so civil, so handsome.
Yes, yes, true, true.
What does it signify that he is base-born?
What? Base-born? How can you call Blifil base-born?
Mr. Blifil?
Yes, of who else are we talking?
Of Mr. Jones, I thought.
Jones? How can you think of disgracing your family by aligning yourself with such a foundling? I wonder you have the courage to admit it to my face.
Madam, you tricked this admission from me. I had intended to keep Mr. Jones' thoughts of him to myself to Baby's grave.
I'd rather follow you to the grave alone than to the altar with you. Just think how angry your father will be. He'll set the dogs on you when this is really angry, and then he might be worse.
I beseech you not to tell him.
I will keep your secret on one condition. If you are civil to Blifil and you speak with him, and you consider him as the man who will one day be your husband. Otherwise, let my brother do his worst.
I'm forced to agree. But will you not talk to my father and try to change his mind? To be Mrs. Blifil would be the most unhappiest woman alive.
On the contrary, Sophia, I will do all I can to put the care of your honor out of town. Remember, marriage has saved plenty of women from ruin. I'll go raise up Blifil to the attack, metaphorically speaking, of course.
Oh, sir, unhappy news. My dear mamma is lost on the road from London.
Lost? Bridget? Your mother is an excellent needlewoman. She has no sense of direction.
Not lost upon the road, lost to this world. Carried off by a severe gout in his stomach.
Oh, very unfortunate.
She shouldn't have gone to London. Yeah, there's enough to kill a strong fly.
London is not to blame. She died upon leaving London.
It was London, I say.
Please, warn Miss Blifil later. It's the matter at hand. Nephew, have you thought of marrying?
No.
I am happy to hear. Our good neighbor, Mr. Western, has offered his daughter in marriage. I have, of course, accepted.
But uncle, I'm too young to marry, and too recently bereaved.
Nonsense. It'll make a man of you.
But my Sophie is pretty as a nest in partridge.
But
She sings and plays with a true voice.
She is charming and gay.
but
She rides near as good as a man.
but
She's very, very rich.
in all things, dear uncle, I must give you pleasure.
Good. My daughter just says I must have rest. Nephew.
I'll tell Sophie it's 7. Ah, Sophie. Oh, none of your crying, none of your maidenish ires. My sisters told me all.
I am then. Then my aunt has betrayed me?
You betrayed yourself, girl, thinking like a very woman. Women are all alike. I remember when your mother and I were wed. It was nothing but whimpering and crying and for 24 hours. But then, a little while later, she was all better. She hardly ever said a word again. So cheer up. Blifil is a brisk young man. She'll soon put an end to all your squeamishness.
Mr. Blifil? She told you about Mr. Blifil?
Yeah, she did. I'll call him to you. Blifil! Let's get on with this. Sophia. What?
Sophia,
Yes.
my uncle has informed me that we shall be wed. I am most pleased.
Your emotions overwhelm me.
Well, the thought of our future bliss, I'm afraid, is aroused to peace.
Gloucester, you shocked me. You're forward.
Well, I only want to express the joy at the merging of our souls and our estates, if I may so put it.
Dear sir, you take too many liberties.
I beg your pardon?
Leave me now. Let the passion begin to overtake me.
Passion for me?
Let us just say passion. Now.
Well,
She's mad about me.
Sophia, that's what you will. Dresses, furs, livestock. I have nothing but to make you happy.
No, I cannot live with Blifil.
Cannot live with Blifil, then die in a box on you.
I hate and detest him.
No matter how much you detest him, you shall have him, and I am resolved. And unless you consent, I'll send you starving into the streets. Has Miss Western recovered? Died from her fainting fit she's recovered, but now she's gone quite mad. Mad? Can this be? So mad she would disobey the sweetest, most generous, understanding father in the country. She won't marry Blifil!
Marry Blifil? Is that what you wish?
I'm in too great a passion to speak. I'll go walk down by the stables. Maybe the smell of the horses will calm me down. Tom Jones, my great friend on many hunts, go See what you can do. Oh, gratitude, disobedience. She's just like her mother.
Oh, my Sophia, I know. Your cruel father has told me all and sent me here with you.
Sent you to me?
To plead with you for my odious rival Blifil. Forgive me for mentioning his name.
It is not his name I object to, the person. That which we call garbage by any other name would smell.
Sophia, oh Sophia, in a moment we may be torn apart forever. Nothing less in this particular occasion can brave enough to speak. Promise me you will never marry Blifil.
Never.
And add that I may hope.
What hope may I bestow? Life forever in instruction.
I fear no destruction but the loss of my Sophia. I would sacrifice everything to the possession of my Sophia, but Sophia herself.
You have left my niece alone with Jones.
Perhaps he can persuade her to marry Blifil.
More Gothic ignorance. You country oaf! You bucolic clod. 'Tis Jones she loves.
Jones? I'll have his heart. Sophia! I'll have sex with you. I'll lick you as well as any man has ever licked you in your life.
I will not raise my hand against my Sophia.
Serpent swine! Don't add cowardice to your many other faults.
What is it? What is all this plot?
What's this, Rome? There's too much noise. My doctor says I must have rest.
A nasty piece of work. My daughter has fallen in love with your foundling.
Good heavens.
She can't love Jones. He hasn't a penny.
Spoken like a true romantic.
Here, here. She would be dragged down to the very gutter if she were to marry that foundling who, I have concealed the very fact from you, dear uncle, is the worst man in the world.
You lie.
Has he done worse than I already know? Tell me, I command you.
Wild horses will not drag his evil deeds from me. But I must obey him in all things, dear uncle.
Well, spit it out. What's he done?
Well, beyond his poaching.
That's not true!
And beyond his eyeing of wenches in the village.
Wench eyeing?
I never. I love but one. This very dear uncle, when you were lying at death's door, and I, good gentleman, were in tears. He filled the house with riot and debauchery. Delight, lying! He sang and roared. I sang with happiness at your recovery, dear protector. And when I gave him a gentle hint of his indecency, he fell into a violent passion, swore many oaths, and struck me.
You struck him?
Yes, but of course, I forgave him, for I've always loved him like a brother. But it grieves me to admit that he was a filthy wretch. Lie!
Oh, speak beautiful.
'Tis Blifil you will marry.
For never with all my heart.
Sister, take her out of here. Lock her in a room with no meat, no drink until she...
And you, sir, whom I have shown the kindness, goodness, and fairness for which I am renowned.
Renowned.
This is how my charity is repaid?
I'm sorry, sir, but I must follow where my heart leads me. I love Sophia.
Remember your birth, sir. You cannot have the authority.
I resolve to banish you.
Very fair, very just, more than kind.
Tom.
Get her out of here.
Farewell, Sophia. Try to forgive me. Farewell. Oh, where shall I go? What is the deepest, darkest, dirtiest hole, where I may live out my life in the deepest degradation? There's only one choice. I'll go to London. Farewell, Sophia, most lovely, most...
To a question you're thinking, madam, the only other topic is marriage.
Matrimony is not a romantic scheme arising from love. It is a fund in which a prudent woman deposits her fortunes in order to receive the best profit from them.
But I have no wish to let Mr. Black, my bank manager. I hate him.
That is no objection to marrying him. I know plenty of couples who dislike each other immensely and lead very comfortable lives.
I resolve against Mr. Black.
Resolve, my foot. I say you'll marry me, you will. That's all.
Brother, kindly cease your interference. This is a woman's matter, and I cannot say the contempt I have for your manners.
Upon my manners. No wonder I'm undervalued by my daughter when she hears the way you speak to me.
It is impossible to undervalue such a boor.
A country boor, madam, who gets to the point of things with none of your London shilly-shally. As for you, you'll marry Blifil tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
And remain locked in this room until then.